Halo Infinite Season 3. I bigged it up before it released. Tons of cool leaks, lots of hype up from 343, and I've played my first hour of it, and sadly, I am quite disappointed. It's a shame. The game has released again in an unplayable state for some people, with people still struggling to even launch the game. I have been watching Hidden Xperia stream for about 10 minutes, and he has crashed 5 times in that space. I saw another streamer have FPS drops in the menu of up to 60 FPS lost. Myself, I'm losing about 30 in the menu when changing my armor. And in-game, I've also gone from around 100 FPS to struggling to reach 80 on the new maps. So lots of performance issues, which leads me to believe there was a lack of QA testing, which is unfortunate. I don't know how this keeps on happening. But aside from that, there are some positive notes. The UI has been improved in terms of the backgrounds for the campaign, multiplayer, and overall main menu scenes, and they look a lot nicer. The lighting's much nicer, the shadows are nicer, and just the scene setup in general is a lot cooler. Lots more stuff going on rather than being blank. The UI for the post-game carnage report has also improved, and a few other pieces here and there. However, personally, I don't like a lot of the changes. The game, for some reason, overall just feels slow and sluggish. Performance isn't great, as I mentioned, and the bandit rifle for me just doesn't fit. I can play with the BR and get like a triple kill, but I pick up the bandit, and the most I get is 1 kill, and then I'm dead, because the gunfire is so slow that there's absolutely zero opportunity for multi-kills with it. So I just don't understand the gun in the sandbox at all. I don't understand what it's supposed to be. With a gun that fires that slow, I guess long range, but it doesn't have a scope, so you can't use it at long range. So I just really don't understand where it fits in the sandbox. Hopefully they tweak it. I think it could be a really good gun if they just speed up the firing rate a little bit. And I think if they speed up the firing rate and just somehow make it feel less like a baseball bat. I said this about the DMR in Halo 5. Literally, when you're using it, it just feels like you're swinging around a giant metal baseball bat or something. Like, it just doesn't feel nice. The gun does pack a punch, and that feels cool. It does, again, in that moment, feeling heavy and packing that punch and getting that satisfying kill is nice. However, there's a lot of work to get those kills because it's so slow and so difficult to control. In terms of maps, Cliffhanger performs pretty poop. However, I like the design. However, my assumptions were correct in that the map plays very slow because it's so big in a 4v4 setting. More often than not, the timer of the match is almost reached by the time the score limit is. I'm playing matches where there's only 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the timer in a 4v4 match, which means I'm playing 10 minute and 20 second games. I can go and play a game of Streets and it can be done in 4 minutes, so there's a big difference there in terms of game speed. I think a reason it also performs like poop is probably because it's quite a big map. It's probably, in terms of polygon count, as much as the BTB maps. From my experience, this should be fairly easy to fix. Just pick a few objects that players aren't going to pay too much attention to, or whichever ones have the highest poly counts, add some LODs for them by decimating them in Blender, and you'll have better performance. And then Chasm is just meh. I fell off the map once. I expected myself to fall off more. However, it's just like 3 or 4 long hallways and corridors with giant holes surrounding it. So you spend more time making sure that you're not jumping off the edge rather than looking for enemies, and I found it really weird. I'm not a fan. The BTB map I've yet to play, however BTB isn't really my thing in the first place. However, I will give it a try and then give a feedback on that. But for the arena side, I'm not a fan, which is disappointing. I have heard that Plaza is coming midway through Season 3, so hopefully that will be cool, as I did enjoy that map in Halo 5. And again, I think we're going to be looking at the forgers and the community keeping the game alive, rather than the dev maps being the focus of the content that was added in Season 3. I would rather play any of the Season 2 Forged maps than the current 2 Arena Season 3 dev-made maps. All I can assume is that these maps were outsourced to another studio, and that's why they're so off. It's not uncommon, and there is a lot of news about Halo outsourcing its multiplayer stuff to other studios, and then 343 just kind of like duct taping it together and putting it in the game. Yeah, the game stutters and sometimes crashes by doing simple things such as changing your helmets in the menu. Just overall, it feels very meh in general. If I had to give it like a score out of 10 so far, I would just give it smack bang in the middle, a 5. It's more content, which is good, but the content we've been given is not going to be enough to keep people on the game for any longer than a few days. A positive note is that the Steam charts for Halo Infinite, and I'm sure the Xbox charts too, are the highest they've been since February of last year. So the highest player count we've had in 13 months, which is good, and it proves that the hype for Halo is still there and people do want to play. However, I don't think this content is going to keep them there. I think the majority of players that jump in, 50% or more, are going to leave by the end of the week because this just isn't enough content, and also it's broken, so it doesn't leave good first impressions. First impressions do mean a lot in the gaming industry, and if you can't capture people within the first day, you've probably lost them. They're going to go back and play whatever games they were playing before, whether that be COD, Warzone, Apex, Overwatch, whatever other games are out right now. There's a few games doing betas, like the Finals has their beta going on Steam, so people have many other free alternatives to play, and have zero obligation to stay and play Halo because it's also a free title where you don't feel like you need to stay on and get your money's worth. This is the risk of the free-to-play market and joining it. If you put out lackluster products and lackluster updates that don't work, haven't been QA tested, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. I really don't understand how the game performs this bad. Like, I get that sometimes day one of updates and releases can be quite bad because it's an environment that you've never tested in before, with tens of thousands of people playing the game at once. However, you should have somehow tested this through a flight or just a mass like QA testing. Just hire a third-party company that has like 300 employees to QA test with 343, which also have like 300 employees. Like, this is doable, but yeah, it just seems like it wasn't thoroughly QA tested, because something as simple as losing 30 FPS when changing your armor, sometimes more, should have been noticed in the past few months, and somehow it hasn't been addressed. Hopefully they release a pretty quick patch for the issues like that, and do some weapon tuning based on the feedback. I don't think they'll do it straight away, they'll probably a couple of weeks. So hopefully there's an outroar of feedback regarding the Bandit Rifle, the maps, and the performance, as I feel. I hope other people are on the same page. I've definitely seen some streamers and content creators voice the same opinions, so hopefully we can come together and get the changes that we need, and not lose too many players between now and then. Overall, I genuinely think I preferred Halo Infinite yesterday rather than today, which is unfortunate to say. I was really looking forward to Season 3. This is the first time in a year that I've genuinely been excited to hop on Halo and see the update. But it's just, again, it's overpromise and underdeliver, I think, from 343, which is a shame because I thought we were getting out of that pattern that they keep on doing over and over again. I'm not going to completely rule it out because there is opportunity for them to fix a few things with a second day or third day patch, and then maybe some weapon tuning after a week or two, and maybe I'll like it then. But right now, I'm not going to be playing Halo Infinite for hours on end again. It's still just a time passer where I'm maybe going to play for 2 or 3 matches a day. Would I recommend it? If you don't have the game installed and you're thinking about doing the entire install just to play, I'd say wait for now. If you already have the game installed and all you need to do is just update Steam and launch and have a go, I'd say try it. You might like it. You're not only going to lose an hour of your time by downloading and trying out the new maps or something. There's literally a playlist dedicated to trying those maps. It's just those two on repeat, so you can easily try out all the updates within an hour or two, and if you don't like it, just don't play it again. So, yeah, that's it. Overall, as I said, kind of disappointing and lackluster. I was hoping for more, but we'll see what happens in the near future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.